Hello, everybody. Today I saw Twisters in the theater with my dad. We went to see it together, and we both really, really liked it. I think for a sequel, to the first one that came out, like I want to say '95, maybe '96, one of those years. For a movie that came out like almost 30 years later, the sequel, I think they did a really good job of making it where it didn't lean too heavily on or at all on the first one, and it just brought in new characters that you just loved and cared for. I looked it up, the science of it, like all the stuff they did scientifically, like shooting stuff into the cone of the storm of the tornadoes to diminish them or lessen them or make them go away is all stuff that like scientists are really working on right now and doing right now. Storm chasers are doing so. All this stuff was pretty accurate to how it was done. So it in that aspect, after reading that, I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. It was a roller coaster ride from start to finish. It was like one action scene after another. There was a little slow part after the opening, action scene, and that's to be expected. You're building up some characters, some story, and whatnot. But once you get into the heart and meat and potatoes of the movie, which is the action-oriented scenes that have to do with the characters, then chasing storms, then it's awesome. It's just a really good summer blockbuster. It's a really good film to see if you just want an escape, just an escape film, a summer blockbuster, a popcorn flick. This is the film for you. Which, like I said, if you look it up, if you Google it, the science of what they're doing is actually pretty accurate, maybe stretched a little bit, but it's pretty accurate to what storm chasers are actually doing, with this. So, I really enjoyed it. I thought some of the dialogue might have been a little bit on the cheesy side, especially the love story between the two main characters, which they were kind of slowly building up till the end of the movie when they kind of brought that out. But other than that, I thought it was really good. Great action scenes. Whoever this director is, he really nailed the action scenes really well. The scenes of the storms and stuff. It was entirely filmed in Oklahoma, where it was supposed to be, and so they got that aesthetic right about the film. They got the storm stuff right. They got the scientific end of it right, and I really enjoyed it. I don't think I liked it better than the first one. I thought the first one was better. Maybe it's just nostalgic for me. I've watched it so many times. I forgot about this because they said the characters and all in these films are based on characters created by Michael Crichton. So I think it wasn't a book, but Michael Crichton produced and maybe wrote the original. And I forgot about that. So, and it's also produced by Spielberg, the original and this one. So that is just super cool. Really enjoyed it. Really liked it. My dad spilled soda like towards the end of the movie all over the floor. We had to move seats and everything. We didn't want to get implicated in this. The theater was pretty packed. It was a pretty good crowd. Out of a 10, I would give this an 8.5, which I think is a pretty good rating. But I would give it an 8.5. It's really good. Not as good as the original. Really good action scenes. Downgraded a little bit for some cheesy dialogue. And also just for not being quite as good as the original. But it was still really entertaining. Also, it had a lot of country music in it. So if you're not really into country music, maybe this film isn't for you. Like every other song in it is a country song from a country western artist. So if I'm not really into country, but I don't hate it. There's some artists I do like. I like Kenny Chesney. I like Faith Hill and her husband, McGraw. I like the one that did the Oh Brother We're Out There music. What's her name? I forget her name. But anyway, so I like some artists. I like artists that like go into a couple different categories like country, folk rock, stuff like that, and like Brandy Carlisle. So I like some of the music. I'm not gonna say I don't like country, but it's not my favorite like genre. I think sometimes it gets a little hokey, not exactly my favorite music. Singing about dogs dying and it's just kind of repetitive shit, But there are some good artists that I do like, and like I brought up, there were some artists that I do like, and so besides that, besides the country music throughout, besides some cheesy dialogue and it not being quite as good as the original, I highly recommend this. Highly recommend this if you want to just escape and have a good afternoon at the theater. So, anyway, that'll be it. And may the force be with you all.